Both heads are focused on you. Lies. The Babao shot as they raise their whip. In a blur of dark hair and pale skin, a figure leaps impossibly high from a nearby. Yeah, it's a Renova probably. A nearby roof and lands on the back of the two-headed demon. A pale, unblemished hand with long nails wrap around the melted head's face and rips an arm entwined around one of the demon's wing. You see the face over the shoulder of the demon, a fetching woman with long white fangs. Iranova, you shout. The vampire wrenches the demon's wing with a crack of breaking bone. Both heads bellow as the monster falls from the air. You leap out of the way just before the demon crashes onto the roof. A high-pitched scream raises up. It's Iranova that's in pain now. The vampire unlatches from the two-headed demon. The hissing of her body, the front of her body hissing and steaming, her flesh melting. She springs away onto a nearby roof, and with unnatural speed, she crawls over the apex of the roof and out of sight. Plumes of steam rise up from the roof tiles around the demon as acid cascades from his fresh wounds. Not wanting to waste a moment, you lunge and swing. Your holy sword slices through wing and into the flank of the monster. A fresh gout of blood splatters the roof, and you leap back just in time to avoid it. Why is the blood pressure on these demons so fucking high? They literally, when you cut them, they literally splatter blood around. Like you do realize, like, as a human, right, you get cut and like blood will flow out. It wouldn't just like burst out like fucking shower like they show in fucking anime and shit. I'm guessing these demons have like a high blood pressure or something, so whenever you cut them they just like burst in blood, for fuck's sake. The holy sword slices through wing into the heads roar in rage as they pull themselves onto their feet, and their whip rising up to strike. The roof beneath shudders. The demon loses balance, teeters for a moment, then suddenly falls through, leaving behind a massive steaming hole. I think we should go down and kill it because it's probably teleport around to us. This monster will continue to hunt you. Time to end this, you think. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Using your glowing sword for light, you peer down into the hole in the roof. The monster has fallen through several stories, aided no doubt by the acidic blood and great weight of the beast. You leap over and down one level, then over to the next, your boots stepping once in small pool of sizzling acid around the rim of the hole. And now you're one floor above the demon. Both heads bellow and scream in rage. The problem is you can't do a dive bomb attack on them. Like you cannot launch yourself downwards and just land on them then with slicing with them with your stabbing them with your sword, because you will just get splattered with acid blood. Both heads bellow and scream in rage as staggers up onto its feast. Perhaps they didn't expect you to follow them, because neither head seems to notice you. The melted face screams something in their terrible language. The body goes grey and partially translucent, sputters and become material again. The bow head snarls in what you take to be as frustration. The two-headed demon crouches down and rushes forward toward the side of the building. You run along the floor above, vaulting over an overturned chair. Morale increases 3. There's a thud and a rending of wood as the floor beneath you shakes. Through a smashed out window, you see the demon ripping its way out through the wall over onto the alley. You take a deep breath, launch yourself down the shattered window, down towards the two-headed demon as they straighten to their full height. Their eyes go wide in surprise as they behold the white flaming sword just before it slices the top of the Babao's skull off, sending his long horns flying and hitting the cobblestone with a click. The melted heads wail in what wails in what might be pain, perhaps his grief for his brother. The monster flops down to a sitting position as you land a step away. You waste no time, stab your blade into the melted face's wailing mouth, piercing through the back. The acid cascades down as the body slumps over lifeless against the far alley wall and hisses and burning through the bricks. Acid pools near the monster and you leap back in time to miss the worst of it, with only the tip of your boot sizzling. Your sword glows brighter than ever and the hilt thrums with what you suppose is satisfaction. All the acid on the blade has steamed away. The blade unharmed. That was for gold trade, you say, spitting on the corpse. Rooster, you look up to see Pyria has climbed down onto a half-demolished house, still several meters from the ground. Looking down the alley, confirms it's clear. You run over and sheath your sword. Jump, I'll catch you. You say with more confidence than you feel. Are you sure? She says, although she's already lowering herself down as much as she can. Soon she is hanging on the edge of the wall. Let go, you say. She does. Pyria is a slim woman and not tall, yet that does not make her a pleasant catch. Use a snatching bear hug. Oh, we did the Roman Reigns spear to catch her. Interesting. Use a snatching bear hug on her naked upper thighs and grunt as you bend your knees to observe some of the impact. Yet even with this deft catch, she's way too much. You fall forward on both your on top of her, your face coming to rest atop her breast. You push up onto all fours. My pleasure, you whisper. She squirms out from under you and is on her feet, limping towards the demonic corpse. Mind the blood, you call as you get to your feet. Jog over to her side. It's rather harsh. Aldalom, screams Pyria. The stomach of the demon corpse still writhes. What might be a foot? Is he alive in there? That might be a foot pushes. What might be a foot pushes out, stretching the skin. Aldalom is in that thing, Gasperia. Drawing your sword, you step delicately over a rivet of acid. You cock back, your sword pointing at the center of the squirming mass. No, shouts Pyria. If it's him, he is suffering. You say, cut him out. You stammer, I don't know, that seems... We should get out of here, my enemies will send more. Do it, she shouts. You suppose you owe Aldale at least a chance. He did stand bravely against the monster. Taking a deep breath, he probably is melted to shit. Taking a deep breath, you stab into the stomach above the writhing mass and saw down. You've cut only a foot of the flesh before a body pushes way out, along with a gush of slime. Expecting acid, you leap back, but however the bile inside does not hiss on the ground the way the other foul excretions of the fiend does. It stinks though. Is it him? Says Pyria, limping from her earlier wound. She's nevertheless managed to long step over a puddle of acid to stand beside you. The man on the ground is moaning. He's about the size of Aldale, yet he does not look right. One of his feet is bare, a man's foot, but the other is a cloven hoof. The man has claws too. The face resembles Adele's, yet it is wider, and there are small horns spouting from his head. What happened to him? Says Asperia, as though to herself. It is the wood elf. The ear give him away. Well, specifically his missing ear. The remaining ear is pointed, as it was before. Also, they transformed him into a demon within his belly? That's weird. I guess the bile is not acidic, otherwise his organs would be damaged as well. The remaining ear is pointed as it was before, although it is definitely longer and appears harder, almost like a horn. He does not look well, you say. Your blade flares up in holy fire, clearly visible in the light of your burning blade. Adele opens his mouth wide. He is toothless now, screams wretchedly while he thrashes and slides about in the slime pool he's laying in. It appears he's trying to stand up, however his hoof is not helping his endeavor. Can you carry him on your back? Perhaps a priest could aid him? I think we should first of all confirm that he has not lost his mind. You consider the wall near the castle you spotted earlier, the shining armor and the light of Lathia. There is likely a priest there. I feel the enemy approaching, says Egra. She adds with a hint of amusement. Just be aware, Galmegus knows what you did. You keep slaying his favorite minions. You're uncertain how Egra might know this. She always says that she can only see and hear what you can. Pyria, you're wounded, you say. I must carry you, not him. I can manage, she says, although her voice betrays the uncertainty. That's a big choice. This is the first time there's a big choice. It's not like well, she clearly cares for him. I don't think it's a good idea to carry him on my back. I'm probably gonna die, but fuck it, let's just do it. I owe him that much, you mutter, remembering how Aldale stood strong, covering your retreat from the two-headed demon. Grasp Aldale's wrist above his claws and drag him out of the slime. To your relief, there doesn't seem to be any acid on him, else this would be very difficult to rescue. Awkwardly, you crouch down and pull him onto your back, still holding him by wrist against your chest. He groans and wheezes on your back, his voice hoarse and rattling. You stagger forward, adjusting his limp weight, doing your best to balance him. Luckily, he's short, so at least you're not dragging him, which would slow you down further. Soon you manage a sort of lopsided run. You're a good man, Rooster, says Pyria, already falling behind as she hobbles. If we survive, suddenly there's a terrific roar from behind. Whatever it is, it's large and angry. The roar seems to awake Aldale from his current stupor. He snarls like a wild cat while his limbs come alive with strength. He twists and thrashes on your back. Stop, you yell, but he already wrest his one grip from your grasp. Life Crisis 2. Aldale, or the monster he has become, rakes your neck with his one free claw, drawing you with warm blood. You twist and throw the elf down onto the street, gasping and holding the wound. He grabs your ankle with an iron grip. No, shouts Pyria. You kick Aldale in the head. Yeah, as I said, it was a bad option. In real life, I'd never do it, but in a story, it's much more easier to go back and forth to see what are the different options. You kick Aldale in the head and then on his arm. He lets go. Pyria hits you in the shoulder with a small fist, then screams as Aldale hisses and scratches her leg, grasping for her. You snatch Piria by the wrist and lift her, pull her out of reach of Aldale, who is not trying to get to his feet, sliding his still slimy hoof. "Get on my back," you shout as you hunch over, inviting her to climb up to ride you piggyback. "No," says Kyria. "Carry him. He's a monster. He'll kill us both," you shout. Another roar from behind. Pira's eyes widen as she stares far behind for a moment, and then she leaps onto you. The ground rumbles with heavy footsteps from the direction of the alley you came. It's probably one of those Orgox demons or whatever they're called. Aldale has managed to get his one cloven foot leg behind him and is now beginning to stand. His face is one of agony, but there might be rage too. The whites of his eyes are gone, replaced with pure blackness. "This could be a problem for their marriage," says Egra. You run, Piria hanging on your back, in what you think is the direction of the castle wall. Naturally, the half-elf is slowing you down. Nevertheless, you'll be able to make good time. Thankfully, the way is relatively clear with only small debris in the road, which you easily jump over. Soon, you're out of the alley into the larger street. The castle is straight ahead. The buildings near the wall of the castle have been mostly demolished, so you're forced to dash out in the open. A spear whizzes past you, howls erupt nearby. You're about 100 meters from the wall. Evidently, the enemy is laying siege to the defenders. Although, judging by the glowing eyes you see poking up from cover, the monsters are not nearly as numerous as the Duke's men, the armor shimmering in the torchlight upon the wall in the distance. Use invisibility? Sure, actually, in this situation, yeah, sure. Morale increases 1. "Make me invisible, I suppose," she says. Snarls and cries in horrible language erupt around. Grisly shapes of different sizes burst from the ruins, some of them with the orange glint of glowing steel reflected from various low-burning fires, still smoldering in the wreckage. The reason why I decided to go invisible, because here we do actually need to be invisible because all these fiends are around us. So it makes sense to be invisible. Otherwise, because Galmagus is not here exactly. If he was here, there was no fucking way I would go invisible, because he probably could see us and probably could see us better like a beaming light in the fucking dark. And Piria too, you add. You've learned to be careful and specific with this trickster. After a faint hum within, you can still see your body and Piria's arms that are wrapped around you. Nevertheless, you think the illusion must be working, but because those demons you saw coming out after you seem to have lost the target. There's a flurry of whistling arrows and bolts ahead. A demon packed with teeth and claws shriek as it is struck with several arrows and what might be bolts from a crossbow. It falls and twists and writhes on the ground as you whir around it. More arrows, many more arrows, whistle over your head around you. Snarls and guttural shouts echo near. You're starting to recede. With you invisible, there's nothing to chase. You haven't gotten far before you spot someone up on the wall, pointing to in your direction. A flurry of arrows whip your way. Some are whispering past your head, others ricochet off the ground. They don't seem to actually see you, given the poor marksmanship. However, they obviously suspect something. "I'm an ally," you shout. "Open the gate for Thogsmiter." This just elicits more arrow. Egra makes visible. A moment later, guttural cries echo behind. "Visible again," laughs Egra. You wave one arm at the gate. "It's Thogsmiter, the hero. Don't shoot." "Ceasefire," shouts someone from the battlement. It's a naked woman. You run, your legs burning, your back aching, sucking in air as though life depends on it, which it certainly does. The gate ahead opens and the men pour out, led by a pair of knights charging upon burly war horses. One of the knights carries a tall shield embezzled with the bust of Aletheia. Her beautiful face is an expression of hardened purpose. Cradled in the knight's other gauntlet hand is a glowing lance. The snarls and shouts behind you change pitch while the war horses leap over the ruins, charging fearlessly towards you. You steel your nerves as the flanks of the horse sweep past, leaving the smell of horse sweat. The screams behind you are now ones of terror. You don't dare look back to see what is befalling your enemies. Mustering what you have left, you dash through the open gate and take refuge behind the wall. Now say if your body gives up and you sink down to your hands and knees. We are still naked, by the way. Piria dismounts and falls back onto her bare behind. Hero or a ghost? What magic was that? Did you not see what he bought us upon? Did you not see what he bought us upon his back? Says another. That is a hero. This remark brings scattered laughter. Stop gawking and get a healer. Piria is sobbing as she huddles up and stares over her knees. Down at the ground, Aldalom, she moans. One of the soldiers throw a blanket over her. You'd like to say something to the half-elf, but you're still too out of breath. Besides, what can you say after what happened to her husband? Granted, you didn't get the impression that she was all that in love with him, nor did she have many kind words for her. Or you, when you disguise yourself as Piria. Even still, for some reason, they had gotten married to begin begin with and remain together, if not completely faithful. There's a prickle on the back of your neck. You turn to see one of the soldiers glaring at you a few meters away. There's hatred there and a coldness that is familiar. He has a long cut along his cheek and his beard is caked with blood. He holds his shield by one hand, haphazardly allowing the edge to rest in the mud.